Hey guys, I'm here with Abby Johnson. Abby, why don't you give us a taste of your role at Planned Parenthood and kind of how you got out of there?
Sure. So I worked at Planned Parenthood for 8 years, started out as a volunteer, and then just got hired and continued to get promoted and eventually became the clinic director of a facility within the Houston, Texas affiliate. And, got involved as a college kid, didn't know much about Planned Parenthood or abortion, or certainly didn't know anything about the abortion debate, what that looked like.
So
didn't hear about it in church. It was just sort of a job, I heard all their talking points that Planned Parenthood's there to help low-income women, that we're there to keep abortion safe, legal, rare, right? That's what we all heard.
Right.
And so I thought, well, yeah, who wouldn't want to be a part of something like this? And
so what started changing your mind?
well, everything was pretty good. I didn't have any real internal angst or anything about my job there until 2009. And that's really when things started changing. I don't think it wasn't that Planned Parenthood was changing. It was just that now I was so high up in management, I was seeing what we had been about all along.
One piece, I don't mean to interrupt you, but one piece of that I found really interesting that you said is things like not letting them see the ultrasound, stuff like that. Can you give me more on that and what else?
Yeah, you don't let them see the ultrasound. The ultrasound really exposes the lie of the abortion industry. We know that when women see their ultrasound, they're more compelled to choose life. So that impacts your bottom line, your budget for abortion services.
How much of the budget for Planned Parenthood is abortion? We hear that it's all about health care.
Yeah.
How much is it?
It's about 50%. Yeah, so about half comes from abortion. About half comes from government money, our tax money.
Okay. How much of it is other health care? We hear that they help women. So how much of it is other?
So the government funding piece, that's for contraceptive services primarily.
Okay.
Things like that. The services they provide are extremely limited. So this idea that Planned Parenthood is some sort of comprehensive healthcare provider for women is definitely not true. I mean, it's abortion. They provide the contraceptive services, hoping that the contraception will fail, knowing that even by their own statistics, 54% of women who have abortions were using contraception at the time they got pregnant. So, that's really why they promote this widespread use of contraception, because they know eventually it fails.
Okay, so 2009 is when this kind of started happening for you. Tell me about your exit.
So I ended up leaving after witnessing a live ultrasound-guided abortion procedure where I saw a 13-week-old baby fight and struggle for his life against the abortion instruments. And I knew then that I could no longer pretend there wasn't life in the womb, that this baby's rights didn't matter, that there wasn't humanity, that there wasn't dignity. I knew that I had to leave. And that was a hard decision to make. I mean, because I was walking away from...
And you were higher up.
Yeah, I was walking away from big money, from all my friends, it had become part of who I was. I was walking away from this identity that I had created. But I knew that what I had seen, I couldn't justify, I couldn't excuse it. And so I ended up leaving.
Okay, so you left, and then there was a lawsuit, right? And then you wrote a book around this whole...
Yeah, Planned Parenthood sued me. They tried to get a permanent gag order against me. That obviously failed. You just can't sue somebody for becoming pro-life. It just doesn't work that way. That failed, and wrote a book about my story called Unplanned in 2011. Started a ministry in 2012 to get abortion clinic workers out of the abortion industry. Wrote another book that came out a few years later. And I thought that was sort of it. I thought, well, this is my gig, right? I speak, I share my story, I write some books here and there. Got an email from some film directors, asked me if I'd be interested in turning Unplanned into a major motion picture. I was like, what? No. And talked to them, felt really convicted. This is what God wanted me to do with my story. And now, today, March 29th,
Yeah.
it is being released in theaters.
Yeah, so it's a great friend of ours who writes for our ministry and just a great friend of our company and what we do is Ashley Bratcher. And she plays you in the movie. So, and she came in the project really late, like
Yeah.
really fast. Like turned around Monday, she's playing the part.
Yeah, everybody was cast except for me, except for my part, which is, pretty integral since I'm in 99% of the movie. Yeah.
So you're on set. Are you thinking this is cheesy Christian movie?
No.
Are you thinking?
No. In fact, I told them when I first met with Chuck and Carrie, the directors, I said, look, I know you did God's Not Dead. I know it was a huge success. You're not going to tell my story like that. You're not going to tell my story in a cheesy Christian film. My story is too gritty. It's too raw. It's too honest.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. And they said, Abby, we agree. We may not get the Dove family seal of approval on this. But we're ready. They said, we're ready to take the training wheels off the Christian films. And we want to do it with your film.
So speaking of, it got an R rating.
It did, yeah.
And so
We were serious.
yeah. So tell me how you feel about that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of a strange thing. Like, okay, so it's too graphic. Why is it graphic? Oh, it's a baby. Oh, okay. So that's why.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So tell me how you feel about that.
I was surprised in the beginning because I watch cable television. So I know what's on cable television out there. I know what's in PG-13 films, and we got none of that in this film. So I thought,
Right. This is
no nudity, no F-bombs. There's nothing like that. So what in the world? Well, the MPAA stated that they rated it R for violence, for disturbing images. Well, they're not wrong. It's sort of like they stumbled backwards into the truth by admitting that abortion is, in fact, violent.
Yeah.
That it is an act of violence.
Yeah.
That it is disturbing. And my prayer has been, there's a small group of people on the MPAA rating board, right? I mean, I think it's 10, something like that. My prayer has been that one of those people, at least one of those people, were really changed
when they saw it
by what they saw in this film. There had to be something going on in somebody there.
Is there a scene? Like, what is the kind of pivotal, like, that turned it dark?
Yeah, so they submitted, I think, they submitted 2 scenes. Is that right? I think they submitted 2 scenes. One was the actual ultrasound-guided abortion, where you see the baby die. The second was my own personal abortion experience with the medication abortion pill.
Okay.
Those 2 scenes were the ones that were submitted, and those were the 2 scenes that got it the R rating.
Did they say something to the effect of, if you take these scenes out, we'll decrease the rating?
Yes, and we said, you can stick it. We're not taking it out. We're not interested in getting a lesser rating in order to water down the truth.
Right. So,
I mean, this film is about showing the truth.
Yeah.
Not about making people comfortable.
Yep. Yeah.
And so we just stuck to it. And, I don't think the irony is lost on anybody that a 15-year-old girl can walk into an abortion clinic, have an abortion without her parents' consent, but she can't go see a film about abortion without her parents' consent.
How about that?
I mean, I don't think that's lost on anybody. But look, this film should be seen by every teenager in this country. But it should be seen with their parents. Because there should be a conversation that takes place before and after a teenager watches this film.
Okay, so opening weekend.
Yep.
What are you guys praying for, hoping for, looking to?
Man, we are praying for just conversion of heart. Of course, we want people to go. We want pro-choice people to walk in and walk out pro-life. Of course. Yeah. That's huge. But also a conversion for all of us who watch the film. That we say to ourselves, hey, that our prayers really, God, use me in this movement. How do you want me to stand up for the least of these?
Right.
for your children that you've created in your image? What can I do? That he really presses upon everyone who walks out of this movie a calling.
Yeah.
That they can get involved and do something.
So speaking of, and one I wanted to ask you, are you encouraged by the Gosnell movie, the Unplanned? Like it's becoming more, we're portraying it from the Christian community. We're getting it out. We're getting the truth out there. I think. Are you encouraged by that? Obviously, but
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the more we talk about abortion, the more that we can get media to cover these stories. I mean, I think that we will see a time in our society where abortion is unthinkable, where we look at abortion in the same way that we look at the Jewish Holocaust or at slavery, and we go,
why did we used to do that?
In the world were we thinking, right? I mean, I think that will happen, but I think it's going to happen through storytelling.
Yeah.
Through film, through personal stories, people who have worked in the clinics, people who have had abortions, people who have lost someone to abortion. I mean, it's going to be those stories.
Yes. Okay, so you mentioned action steps in this movement. So last question for you. How can we be involved in your ministry?
Yeah.
It's called And Then There Were None.
And Then There Were None.
Right? Okay.
Yep. They can go to abortionworker.com. We have some resources there. You can reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. What
is the main thing that you guys do?
We proactively reach into abortion clinics and pull abortion clinic workers out. We get them on a path of healing. We get them on a path of restoration with Christ, and we get them into new lines of employment. And we have helped, in a few years, we have helped 500 abortion clinic workers and 7 full-time abortion doctors come through our ministry.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Best success on the movie this weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right.